So it's day 3 here at COP28, and negotiations are ramping up. But can we have a conversation about the elephant that's been in the room? For the last several weeks, as we've been gearing up for COP, there have been conversations in civil society, and it's been in the news as well, that we're here in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, a nation that has had tremendous growth in the last several decades, based almost entirely on fossil fuel sales and consumption. And then we got here, and everyone was very excited about getting the Loss and Damage Fund established, myself included, and hopes were high that maybe that this was a new harbinger of things to come. Negotiations are in full swing today, and I haven't heard the phase out of fossil fuels that needs to be a part of the negotiations if we're going to keep 1.5 alive. Am I wrong on this?
No, I don't think you're wrong, and I also think, we've heard plenty of conversation about we need to phase out fossil fuels. It hasn't been from the negotiators, right? It's been every subnational representative and every representative of civil society is saying really the story here needs to be rapid phase out of fossil fuels. But when we are hearing what's at the high level being negotiated, what's in the global stocktake, what's in the conversation about net zero by 2030, 40, 50, phasing out fossil fuels sort of recedes in favor of more attractive ornaments. We just came from the U.S. Pavilion where we heard presentation about what local governments can do, which was really important, and we heard about what business, the partnerships between private sector and governments, and that's really important. But in none of those did we get the sense that the negotiators are taking seriously the idea that at the end of the day, this comes down to phasing out fossil fuels. And we even heard one governor of an eastern state, I guess, say, let's be serious, we know what the deal is here. Let's don't micro measure all of the forms of emissions and all of the little places that make up the small percentages. We know where they're coming from.
I wonder, is it a harbinger of things to come that during the COP presidency's opening remarks, he made reference to bringing the fossil fuel companies to the table, bringing them along. I'm not looking at the copy right now, but it was alarming. That has been a topic of discussion since it was said.
Yeah, and specifically what he said, I remember, was we need to be nuanced in our approach and be inclusive of fossil fuels in the language. And it put me in mind of other times recently, especially at the state level, when we've been dealing with issues. I know you probably don't have quite the same issues in California, but we've dealt with some tough issues in Texas where there are lots of places in public policy where people of goodwill can disagree, but at some point we come to a hard line, a bright line. And I think when we say we need to be nuanced and include fossil fuels in the language, that is concerning for us.
That's a bright line. That's a bright line. It's not the kind of thing that we're going to have established and hammered out on day 3. That's the kind of thing that we're going to be looking to the cover decisions at the end of COP. How does everything shake out? That is, it's an area of concern for myself. It's an area of concern for the rest of civil society, and we just want to be upfront that is something that we're concerned about.
That's right.